maybe more of a strange sort of exploitation film than an actual science fiction movie, but I'm willing to give it a try. Species. In particular, a alien species that man made, sorta. So in the 90s, there was a bunch of sci-fi movies coming out, and they were good. You got Independence Day, you got the American-made Godzilla, you got Jurassic Park, you got all that good stuff. So, along with it, you also had this, maybe not quite as well known, but also equally interesting storylines, but maybe not as well carried out either. See, in Species, Alien, somehow, we've contacted aliens in space, and they have transmitted certain things to us, including how to make a person. Or, basically, because there's this extra DNA strand that we didn't know about. It's like RNA or something like that. Anyway, scientists go ahead and do that. But it's a very secretive thing, and I think the government's involved, but you're not sure. It's just like this one guy just kind of going off on his own wild hair, or I don't know. But yes, he makes a person, and just when he's about to destroy it, though, because I guess he's afraid it will get too big, and there's something wrong with it too. It escapes, and it slowly starts to learn about people and how to be a person. And did I mention it was female? Yes. They said that the reason they made it female was for it to be easier to contain and to handle. Sure, that's exactly why you did that, isn't it? Anyway, she proves to be dangerous as she grows at a very increasingly fast rate. And from going to a 12-year-old to about a 25-year-old or something in less than a day, they needed to get her out fast. The way she does it is interesting too. The special effects in this movie are not really too bad. You can tell it's dated, but it definitely doesn't look all that bad, especially the transformation scenes, which, yeah, do look kind of corny. But the cocoon that she gets out of once she's transformed into her adult self, it looks pretty interesting, and, well, it's kind of gross and icky, but still, it's alright. So the hot scientist hires a crack team of specialists, including a mercenary, a microbiologist, anthropologist, and a psychic. Yeah, that was a bit out there. I wasn't still not quite on board with the whole psychic thing, because it seems like it's something that would probably have more of a place in a fantasy or a horror film than a science fiction film. But he didn't get in the way too much. The only problem is he did kind of move the plot along whenever you needed one. It's like the writers kind of threw him in because they couldn't figure out a way how you would track something down like this, you know, just basically a random person that they don't even know who it looks like because she's grown up into a 25-year-old. So it kind of seems like it was just maybe covering up plot holes that would have been really hard to figure out if the writers hadn't put a psychic in there. That's just my own personal view, but I'm not sure about that. But anyway, they're hired to go after and find her and track her down and get her back. So how's the plot of this movie? Well, like I said, the plot hole basically was the only main thing. There really weren't any plot holes, but the thing is, you can see if there would have been if the psychic wasn't there, and the fact that the psychic was there kind of messed it up for me, because I'm like, well, if we're supposed to look at this as if this is real, you know, like movies do, then, you know, we can have a science-backed or a logic-backed reason for, you know, why this alien is, or alien human things running around out there. But if you got a psychic in the mix, you know, it's like, well, what's his history? Where is he from? Why is he here? How is he psychic? You know, I mean, those things just don't happen. So it kind of takes away from the realism from it. The special effects also, you know, the computer graphics, they were obviously 90s. They weren't that good. But the other stuff they had, the makeup and like I said, the cocoon, that was pretty neat. I liked that bit. But the special effects weren't all that great. The acting, well, while it was alright, it wasn't that great. Alfred Molina, or otherwise known as Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2, he did a pretty good job, I think, as the anthropologist. But he does a good job on just about everything he does. So I actually kind of like him. But, and then you got the, Forrest Whitaker as the psychic. You know, I did like his character, I just didn't like the fact that he was psychic, and it just didn't make sense to me. But getting around that, I think the acting was okay, while the writing, like I said, not that great. Direction was okay. And as for the actual main character, which is the creature herself, she didn't have a whole lot of personality, but she kind of did. You know, this innocence while also being very vicious at times too. It's kind of strange. Now the thing that a lot of people are probably drawn to this movie about is that, yeah, it's a female alien that has to mate to be able to carry on her bloodline into the next generation. And that's the thing I think that draws a lot of people to this movie. And, you know, I can see why they would do that, but as a movie itself, it's not really that spectacular or different. It's just a science fiction movie from the 90s. I can't say I really liked it that much. I love science fiction movies, especially from the 90s era. There's just something fun about them. But I gotta say, for this one, it just wasn't all that fun. I mean, it didn't spend a lot of time on the scientists trying to figure out what this thing was, you know, how they made it, and they just spent a very short amount of time on that. And that's the kind of thing I like to see more of that, you know. And then, like I said with the psychic, that kind of messed it up for me because there's all these things that the scientists could have done themselves, except it would have taken a longer time, and it would have taken more creativity on the writer's part. So instead of doing that, they just added a psychic in, and all of a sudden he could just feel where she was and who she was and just go find her, and, you know, that was it. Also, as for the graphic and explicit content in it, it's pretty high-end. It's near the second act of the movie, it gets pretty bad. If you don't like that kind of thing, don't get this movie. It's not good. It's R for a reason. But if you are interested to see, if you're just kind of on a sci-fi kick right now, you know, that'd be fun. It'd be okay, but it's not that great either. I know it's had a lot of sequels. I've only seen one of them. I don't know. I don't really care to see anymore because I think the first one, if it wasn't that thrilling to me, then I don't think I'd bother with the others. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. So that was Species. Basically, it's an okay movie, but I wouldn't own it, and I certainly wouldn't go see it again. So here's a question for you. What's your favorite movie that was made in the 1990s era? From 1990 to 1999. There was a lot of them. I think I've gotten an idea, but it's kind of a hard question to answer because you're not sure, and if you gotta have to say, you know, 1, 2, 3, you know, that's fine too. I gotta say it'd be somewhere like Jurassic Park, Godzilla, and then maybe, I don't know, I'd have to think about that, but it's gonna be Jurassic Park, Godzilla, or Jurassic Park at the top for sure, then maybe Jurassic Park, The Lost World at the bottom, I don't know. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'm Creature Hunt Guy, that was Species, and I'll see you next time.